Nope.
And welcome. No? Mm.
No. Yeah. No.
Hello, everyone. I just said this again.
I'm so
Go
sorry.
me. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Moisky Live. My name is Trups LP, and with me, as always, is the lovely and moist Omegon. Say hello, Omegon.
Hello.
Yeah. So, besides me, absolutely butchering when to actually start the stream, we need like an intro or something. That way,
I was thinking about getting one on one of those websites that can make them for us, and then have
yeah, like Fiverr or whatever.
yeah, why not? I mean, that can be done. Just get no, just get what's his name? Voiceover Pete.
Yeah.
I
Yes, and he'll do our intro for us. That'd be great.
I'd actually pay him to do that as well. I really
I
would.
wouldn't mind.
That'd be awesome.
So, how is Omegon today?
Tired. I
Yeah.
So for the last 3 weeks, I've been going to the gym Monday to Friday, and that additional exercise and exertion of energy has been kind of wearing me down. Um, and so it does constrain what time I have to do videos and streams and stuff. And I've been a bit busy, and next
But
week's
it
going to be
is
worse. It is. Next week's going to be worse. The guy who gives me work has gone on a holiday for a week, and I'm covering him. So 6 a.m. starts for the next 10 days, and
ugh.
late evening work as well. Great.
Well, here's the good news. I am taking a vacation next week. I'm not
Right.
going anywhere,
You
but I'm
just
taking off from work.
kind of deserve it.
Yes. It worked
I
out.
I don't generally do holidays. I just work. That's what I do.
Honestly, I wouldn't if it weren't like this past year. If it didn't beat me over the head so hard, I wouldn't have cared as much.
I generally just I'm self-employed, whether it be on YouTube or cleaning. As far as I'm concerned, there is no such thing as a break. There is option to rest. So tomorrow is, for example, no computer day. I will not be on my PC until the evening, and all day I'll go for a walk. I'll just chill. Maybe read a book, play my guitar, chill. Nothing
Um,
fancy.
Bob's Naked says, getting in Chad shape. What does a Chad squid look like? What does a Chad Cthulhu kin look
What does
like?
a Chad look like? I don't know what a Chad is.
Oh, you don't know what that meme is?
I've heard it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay,
Is
so
it from the Hanging
Chad.
Chad?
No. Chad is it was coined through incels that basically said like the good-looking
Oh, I
jock bod,
remember. Sorry,
but the
yeah.
internet has reappropriated Chad to just be that like stereotypical alpha male. And now
Yeah,
everyone can be Chad in
right.
personality or actions. So you don't have to be an actual Chad. You can
Hmm.
just be Chad moment. And
Right.
it is funny.
It sounds hilarious.
Well, it's just really it is rather sad though when one of my friends unironically writes in chat, "Yo guys, I just did the most alpha thing ever," and then proceeds to tell us the least alpha thing ever. And
Must be the
he
most
was
alpha.
not kidding. He wasn't kidding. It was the saddest thing.
Must be the most
I
alpha
was really
thing that they've done. Thank you, Oki Native. Fish by hand in the cold ocean like a real squid. I don't know what that means. But
Hi
thank you for the
Oki.
donation. Thank you for the
Unfortunately,
donation.
Oki being here actually reminds me. So I put out two videos this past week.
I saw.
Now the first one did not even show up in your sub feed.
It did not. Not until you told me you'd made it did I know it existed.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Trupp's Streamlabs not in description? I thought I put it there. In fact, I'm now
It's
going to go and
there.
yeah, I've checked.
It's
It is
there.
there. Yeah, mine and Trupp's are both there. Socky, by all means.
Yeah, mine's Trups LP.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know though, because I would of course be rather rude if I had not included it. Also, all go subscribe to Trupp's. Um,
Yes, that would be nice. It's funny. I've watched my sub count fluctuate quite quickly in the last well, since I've been back making videos, pretty much.
we'll get some
Uh,
regular growth
Go
going if
up
we
and
can.
down like three.
So yeah, your first video didn't show. I have forgotten to watch it actually. I'll watch it after the stream. Actually, that's a good idea. But I did see
Yeah.
the video you did on MXR.
Yes, that one was actually much more of a ranty type video.
Before you
Because
continue, Saki donates $1 to you to say my mistake.
well, thank you, Saki, for the dollar. I do
Hey,
appreciate it,
you're
and you are
44
forgiven.
away from your HOTAS.
Huzzah!
Yeah, everyone donates traps. He wants his HOTAS.
It's a hands-on throttle and stick.
No, it's a
Because
HOTAS.
sure, whatever. Fine, okay.
But yeah,
Meg goes from crashing the cars to talking to Trups. Yeah, that's pretty much our Friday usually.
yeah. Thanks, Sith.
And Trup scribe. Oh my
I
god.
enjoyed being on your stream earlier, Sith, on Twitch. Everyone go subscribe to Sith as well on Twitch. That way he gets money.
Stuart, I only did my sexy voice in one video, and it was because I was very sick, so it was just really easy to drop my voice down.
So
Um,
to get
God, that's an old video.
back on the video
Yeah.
thing. The first one I didn't see, did not appear in my thing at all. I knew nothing of it until you reached out to me to let me know about it. But I did see the second one because that actually it wasn't that it appeared in my sub feed either. I saw it on my server.
Oh, good. I post every video that I do on your server.
Others
I also
post
put it
other
in
because
Bearings and Gutenbergs, but
I'm not on bearings. His server's
no,
Dennis,
I
man.
know. I mean, probably.
Yeah, I left. I was a mod on that server and I left because it
I
was filled
I
with.
just I just dump my videos.
Yeah, I do on about 10 servers and I'm never on any of them really. I do apologize if I'm on similar. The only one I don't dump it on is Skogs, but only because I don't know where you can dump it.
To be fair, I would make a Patreon and make a Discord server, but the sad thing is I wouldn't be on my own Discord server.
He's barely on mine. Beyond,
It's true, and I'm an
and
admin.
we're using my server for this because that's what we do. We have a little area to put our sources, which we haven't properly used in a while. We probably should do that.
Hmm.
But we also have voice chat separate so that we can do this and not be interrupted, which is very important because I got quite sick of some people jumping in that didn't belong here. Calf Magnus, you know you did that. But
Wow.
I'm glad
But yeah, so
that your second video did appear at least. And is
well,
that
it did subscribe to the whole 10-minute thing.
handy?
It, I Oki said that was actually in the notifications even, and I was like, wow, it's the first time I've ever heard that.
Mm-hmm. I think. Thank you, Gary Cochran. Pelosi signs pens for impeachment. Pathetic. We will get to that
Oh,
soon. I
I'm so
promise you.
pissed about that.
Don't
We'll get
worry.
there.
I've got some images for this. Yeah, we'll get to it soon. I promise. The MXR video, though, I'm glad it got noticed. And hopefully we can get. Now you're back. We'll be able to get you some proper sub growth here.
Yeah. Well, as long as my sub count doesn't keep fluctuating up and down for a day.
It will every so often. Mine does all the time. I
Yeah.
have to ignore it.
It's just I'm sitting at the same number I have for the last 6 months.
Then
But anyway, I haven't really tried anything different, so I'm not really complaining.
I have a few ideas we could do. We could try. I'll talk to you about it after the stream.
Okay.
Okay. So where should we start?
Well, okay. Let me give you guys the brief recap that I had given Meg earlier today, because this week in American politics has been rocky, to say the least.
I'm going to put an image on the screen because I feel like we're not actually talking about politics. It's the articles of impeachment. By all means, continue.
Okay, so from least important to most important, Cory Booker dropped out of the presidential race. Everyone's sad about it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Um,
yes, Cory Booker, everyone. F in the chat. F in the chat.
yeah,
I was totally.
I almost kind of feel bad.
Oh, thank you, Oki Native, for that. And Murder Spoon just subscribed to you.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
I appreciate it.
Hang on. The pen thing is common for large things in government. That's what Oki Native says.
Yes, it's for signing large pieces of legislation.
That's news to me, and that sounds really cringe, but fantastic.
Yes, it is. So
F for Cory.
what you basically have is Cory Booker. He dropped out of the presidential campaign. Project Veritas released a sting. Excuse me. On the Bernie Sanders campaign, in which they basically ousted one of his campaign staffers, Kyle Jurek, as a actual anarcho-communist who actually advocates for gulags.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, unironically.
Gulags.
Um,
I thought that was
yeah.
just a wrong think thing. And Trump's
Oh,
LP
no,
channel
no, no. People
donation
actually believe.
$10 to you, subscribe to you. So apparently you donated $10 to yourself to say subscribe to me.
Oh, go me, I guess. Sweet. Uh, Trump's LP's channel donated.
Yeah, well done, Trups, you weird flexer.
That's a weird that is a weird flex.
It is a weird flex, but okay. Carry
I
on.
wonder if if I did actually donate to myself. I wonder if I have to write that on my taxes.
It'd be an odd one.
Yeah.
So,
So Project Veritas basically ousted him as an anarcho-communist who advocated for gulags. At the same time, CNN aired a smear campaign against Bernie Sanders, basically calling him a misogynist, telling Elizabeth Warren that a woman could not win the U.S. presidency.
right, two things. Firstly, thank you, the like button, for the £10 donation. Yes, indeed, smash me. The Gulag thing, and I want to go back to it quickly. Do you remember the memes for that? Like Chris Ray Gun memes about sending everyone to the Gulags for wrong think? That's what that nonsense reminds me of. It's stupid. And I can't... Project Veritas, aren't they a bit of a joke?
No.
They're not?
No. It's because they actually do get people on camera saying stupid shit.
I didn't realise. My mistake.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that Ufio doesn't like them.
Hi, Ufio. Love you, man.
So then Bernie Sanders got smeared by CNN for basically telling Elizabeth Warren that thing. I said that already. Trump's impeachment articles, those got finally delivered to the Senate, and teams were selected like dodgeball to prepare for each side of the impeachment hearings. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that happened was Lev Parnas, who is some guy I've never heard of, released a bunch of information that basically implicates Trump again in the Ukrainian scandal.
Right. May I just say, there was an interesting tweet. I think someone put it on my server. I think it was. Oh, what was the tweet? It was something. I think it was. So the picture I have on the screen now, and somebody had tweeted related to it something like, a black woman delivering the impeachment to the Senate, to get rid of the white supremacist president or something like that.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, that's cringe. May I just say,
Mm-hmm.
after millions of dollars, after what I can only describe to be an utterly nonsense. Keith donated $3 to you. Money, money, money.
Thank you, Keith.
After all the money spent on this and the absolute joke it appears to be to me, and the bias and the party politics and the party lines, and finally, we are one step closer to getting rid of Trump.
Apparently, and you know what? In an addition, an addendum to that, Nancy Pelosi saw it fit to commemorate the event.
Yes, hang on.
With pens.
I've got Pelosi here. I've got her signing something here. No, that's her signing some kind of paperwork and everyone watching. I don't understand that. That looks really creepy. People watching someone, a nan sign something. I'm very confused. Mm-hmm. And the smile. Oh, gee, I do apologize if I'm picking at a smile, but it just felt a bit weird. I don't have many images, but if this is bothering you guys, I can of course switch it to something a bit more light-hearted, but offensive, I guess, after a while.
I mean, the swan is lighthearted and offensive.
I was going to change it for a GIF, but the swan works. I'll go back to the swan for a bit. Yeah, we'll need it
Project
later.
Veritas has less journalistic integrity than InfoWars. Didn't you just say that CNN is rigging an election and agreed that they rigged the 2016 election, and you're complaining about Veritas?
Okay, Native, thank you for the $2 donation. Can we trade Trump for Boris? Straight swap, no dollar. I actually, for the sake of British politics, would love that. I would love Trump doing PMQs here. I think
I
it'd be
think Trump would ruin
it would be
your fucking like legislature.
he wouldn't understand it, and it
Nope,
would
he would just
and
start yelling at them.
it'd be so funny. And I don't think I'd be able to stop crying from
Yeah.
laughter. But yes, you can have him if you want. I'm sure we'd love to get rid of him. So it is a tradition, apparently depending. What happens now? No, hang on. Before we even get into that, this is a very bold move, isn't it? Because as far as I was aware, it came across as unlikely that this would ever get to the Senate anyway. Like, they were sitting on it because of the election, but now what they realised that they can't beat him in the election or something?
Well, okay. So if let's actually go in deep on the impeachment stuff now.
Please.
It might be worthwhile.
Yeah, it would help.
So it's an interesting play, and there are several conspiracy theories circulating around the timing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2020. They have to hold a hearing. It will take several of the Democratic candidates off the campaign trail to testify if they start calling witnesses. If.
Oh.
That's a very, very, very important if, because Mitch McConnell has apparently said he doesn't want to call witnesses because that's not what the Senate trial is for.
What is the Senate trial for?
Senate trial is basically to look at all the evidence that the House has found, right?
And how much evidence is
And
there again?
not a lot, hearsay mostly, and say, does this hold up? And the lawyers essentially will battle it out. See, what's very interesting about the Senate trial is that senators don't get to talk much. Very, very different than the House inquiry, where you saw every House member basically sparring with the other side, and each one trying to get their soundbite to make it on the evening news.
Oh, the soundbites.
You won't find that. Senators aren't allowed to talk in these trials.
Right.
The one person who is basically the chair of the committee, or I guess in this case, who's ever presiding over it, I would imagine that would be Mitch McConnell.
That makes sense since his name is regularly used by Pelosi when describing how she wants a fair process. She's always
I thought that was hilarious, actually.
But what she deems and determines to be fair, I would assume to be remove the orange man from the white building.
It's basically like, hey, remember all those things that we told you? Just trust me, okay?
Yeah.
What's your source? Just trust me, bro.
My word means so much, and no citation is required.
Ooh, ooh. So, yeah. So yeah, that's basically the gist of how the Senate trial is going to go. Basically, if a senator does want to have a question asked, he must feed it up the chain, and then whomever is presiding, so it's probably going to be the lead counsel for the White House is going to hear Republican questions, and the lead counsel for the Democrats is going to hear the opposition.
Okay.
And yeah, they'll basically go through the evidence. They've basically done what you would consider a deposition, and now they moved on to the trial.
Oh, do I need to move closer to my mic? The weird thing is with streams, no matter where I sit, I could have the microphone in front of my mouth and it won't help. Even if I have it the highest setting, the issue I have is I sometimes lean back so that my apparent mouth breathing doesn't become apparent. I do apologize, Karma, if I'm not as loud as... Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm not as loud as Trups in some instances, but also as he's hosting, I also don't want to be louder than Trups because it seems appropriate that because the bulk of this subject matter is his, that he'd be
That's
given
okay.
a given
I
stage.
don't do myself any favors because I lean back, I lean forward. Like right now, I have my arms and my elbows resting on my desk, basically
I'm
talking
I'm
directly into
just
my mic.
I'm really awkward.
That's
Just very
fair.
awkward.
Yeah. So impeachment.
Yes.
So in order to basically, they voted again to send the impeachment notice to the Senate, and doing so, Nancy Pelosi handed out autographed pens to everyone. I've heard different estimates by how much they cost, and I haven't cared enough to find out how much they actually cost. But the realm of the range is $5,000 to fifteen
Let's have a
thousand
look.
dollars.
Pelosi signed. Why did Pelosi use so many pens? Oh, actually, I've heard of this actually. In The West Wing, it was
Yeah.
referenced once. Jed Bartlett did this. I now remember. So it's clever. Right, let's have a look. See if there's anything mentioned about the price. You carry on. I'll find a price. I'll check eBay.
It's very awkward because I mean, she really went with it. She presented these pens on silver platters, and some people say that she was giving them out like prizes
Yeah,
at an Oprah show.
Mitch McConnell mocked her for it. I've just noticed
I
an article
would
on it.
too, because even CNN said
Oh,
that's weird.
right. So there was an accusation that the pen cost $2,000, but that is refuted. And the website's now taking forever to load. Let's have a look. A taxpayer. She's waiting for the gold-plated impeachment pens. No. Each pen cost under $15, according to Pelosi's chief of staff. And not
Okay,
and
so how many
not
pens were there?
and not $2,000 for a gold-plated pen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I've heard varying things off that number
Yeah.
in particular.
Yeah.
And basically, the whole significance of the pens is when you are passing a monumental legislation,
It's a memento.
it it is customary, or rather tradition, if you have like a crazy bipartisan monumental changes everything kind of legislation that everyone's signing, yeah, you could give out pens to the person who brought it up. Sure, that's fair. I mean, you want to commemorate it. This isn't something commemorative. If you remember, not too long ago, they said this was a somber occasion. No one takes happiness in this. Remember,
Hmm.
except she was smiling as she presented pens and
Yeah,
shit.
hang on. I'll get an image for that in a moment.
You remember that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get the image in a second because I've got the images here and they're all hidden behind Washington Post. I need to archive the. I have to get a
Oh
subscription
my
to the
god, I
site.
hate Washington Post.
Yeah, all
Oh,
the images are behind there. I have to go to Google Images to get one
yeah.
because all the articles are hidden and like protected.
RW Bimby says Congress evidence. Sally says Tina heard Kathy say her boyfriend heard a guy say he feels Hillary Clinton killed Epstein.
Oh Jesus.
That kind of true.
Oh
How much
God.
for the silver serving trays the pens were handed out on? They probably already existed, honestly. Pelosi never wanted the impeachment in the first place. I'm amazed that you can tell me what she's thinking.
I'll be
Um,
honest. I didn't think she wanted it either because the evidence was not there for it. Oh, this image is so
no, I didn't.
ridiculous.
I didn't want to think so, but I would never necessarily say that this is definitely what she's thinking or not thinking, because I would have no reasonable, say so to
I
say.
found one good image of her giving a pen to a certain man who I really have grown to despise. I don't even remember his name. He just
Oh,
annoys
it's
me.
Nadler,
It's Natalie, yeah.
who I believe is actually on the we'll call it the prosecution for the Democrats.
Poundland sells 3 pens for £1. I think you can get more actually. There are some multi packs that go a bit higher.
Just want to point out, Donald Trump actually was the first one to sell pens with his name on it.
I'd like to see where everyone who got one of these pens puts it afterwards, because I'm sure Nadler, just put his in a drawer somewhere afterwards. He doesn't give a crap about a pen. Come on. And
I don't know. He
this
might
is
keep it for like if things go his way, he might be like, yes,
this
this
is
is what I did. This is my
True,
legacy.
but this is a huge gamble from these guys.
Oh,
Huge,
without a doubt.
because it's not, and when they if they lose, they're kind of what do they do? Because I say if they lose, let's go with if. If they lose and the Senate just vote it all down, I'm going to put the pens there 'cause it's less annoying. If they lose, and Pelosi didn't want to push it originally, did she?
I don't want to think
Well,
so.
you remember the interactions. She was reluctant to unless there was actual conclusive concrete evidence. And
Right, but I'm trying to
and
think
and
of
then she
who.
did. And then she did, and I was like, hang on, wait. What's going on here?
Well, I've been trying to like piece together if that was the case, right? Who pushed her to do this? I really had to because she's
I'm thinking Nadler, to be honest.
there was honestly there was a post that I originally thought was incorrect, but I later found out that I was incorrect. It said that Nancy Pelosi is the highest ranking woman
Mm-hmm.
in America's history in
Is she?
terms of the presidential succession order. It goes the president, the vice president, to the speaker of the house.
Yeah.
So, because she is Speaker of the House, she is the closest to presidential succession than any other woman has been in history. I don't
Oh,
know if necessarily that part's the truth. I forgot what the order of presidential succession was. I thought Secretary of State was somewhere in there, but that's like fifth.
that's actually really
Um,
interesting. I didn't know that. Thank you.
right. Um, and so, who could pressure that person, right? Like honestly, who could pressure her? And also, it's not like she's risking losing re-election. She's in fucking California. Cortez, AOC. That's not completely out of the realm of possibility. But if you remember, AOC also, like the moment she stepped into office, she showed up at a fucking protest at Pelosi's office.
Lol.
Do you remember that when they first got elected? AOC participated in a protest at Pelosi's office.
That's quite the protest.
She
Okay.
protested a lot.
So now that we know, obviously I and Yukios pointed out in the chat it was because of the junior, was it junior Dems or something?
I'm sorry.
Junior Dems forced the trial. She was forced by the junior Dems, according to you.
Okay, so
That's fine.
yeah, the
I'll,
first gens.
yeah, I'll accept that for the sake of it, and obviously the trial happened, which was
Well, it's starting. It hasn't
well,
happened,
okay.
but it's starting.
Sorry, not the trial. The was it hearings? Was that what it
Yeah, the
was?
inquiry.
Thank you. And that was a joke.
It went on for so long,
It
but
did.
it's actually much shorter than any other impeachment hearing has ever been in
Yeah,
history.
I like when I was looking at images of impeachment. The first one that cropped up was Clinton's. That's interesting. That was fun.
Well, honestly, it was the most recent since, right?
Yeah, that was interesting to look at actually. But the way this has happened, as an outsider, I genuinely, and those who watch this channel know I don't pay attention to U.S. politics much because it's all about the UK right now for me.
That's
And then
why we have me.
it's why we have this show,
This shithead.
this show,
Ah,
because it gives me a chance to understand what's going on elsewhere and also learn, and also then we can both talk about it. And when I hear about it as outsider, the delay is really weird because you've got an election this year. You've got an election. This is poorly timed. This is desperate because it's not going to get through the Senate. I can't see how it
oh,
can.
absolutely not.
And then and even if it was entertained, you're then distracting your actual candidates from trying to beat him, forcing him to have a second term that you could beat him legitimately with a candidate if you Trump. Okay, I couldn't finish that sentence.
Yeah,
But
if they tried and actually put up a decent candidate instead of just
this is a
throwing
massive.
everything against the wall and seeing what sticks.
It's a massive distraction, and I find it to be quite insulting to anyone's intelligence if that anyone would think this was being done for a legitimate reason of removing him from office on the basis of 3 words, when in fact your best chance of getting rid of him is one of however many candidates you have left. If you can't beat him, by the way, you can't beat him. It wasn't because of a policy. It was entirely because of this bollocks.
You know what the saddest thing is? So the party of diversity and anti-white men now only really has old white people left
Really?
and billionaires. So basically, the only people who are still in the running who are worth a damn are Biden, Warren,
The
Sanders,
whitest.
Michael Bloomberg, and Tom Steyer.
Is
I don't
Steyer
even
still in this?
consider Amy Klobuchar as relevant.
Is oh god, what's his name? Andrew.
Andrew Yang, he's still in it, but he wasn't allowed to
What
be
about
at the
Gabbard?
last debate. Gabbard?
Yeah.
She's already been basically dissociated from the DNC
Oh damn.
because of all the shit that she didn't want to vote for
She
impeachment,
was a.
and she's
I'll
also
be honest.
moderate.
She was a better candidate than some of those names.
I agree, and she's still technically in the running. She's not going to win. I'm telling you right now, it's not.
That's unfortunate. Because I actually think she's a better candidate.
Yeah, I honestly would agree, and I
But
don't know. I'm kind of pissed off because I like Trump, but I like Trump because he's not establishment.
yeah,
They could have put in anybody else who's anti-establishment and still gotten people's vote who would have voted for Trump, who are just looking for not a fucking establishment Democrat.
a protest vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have found. I mean, right now the Democrats are saying vote blue no matter who, which is kind of terrifying for a lot of reasons because it feels a lot like when they try to push revolution in certain countries where it's we need to get rid of this person. We'll put in anybody else but this person.
Mm-hmm.
In Cuba, that put Castro in.
Right.
Castro was elected originally.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, after Batista was ousted, well, Batista was elected too. Then he performed a military coup and took back power. Then Castro was voted in after the revolution, and the story kind of writes itself after that.
Okay. So back onto impeachment. This
Yeah.
is now in a rather, this display. I put the picture of all the people marching over to the Senate here on the screen. This has been delivered. Apparently, it was delivered twice. I'm very confused by what that means. The bill it's been passed to the Senate, and now we get how long? How long would this
like
take?
a ceremonial march.
Yeah. Well, yes. How long does this usually? How long? Sorry, not usually. It's only happened 3 times. How long do you think this will take?
Which part of the trial?
The whole thing.
I think they're probably going to try and stretch it as long as they want. Probably well into June if they could. I don't think the Senate's going to let them.
Oh, hang on. So Congress are going to try and delay things.
I think the House is going to try to delay things,
How?
but I don't know if Mitch McConnell is going to let them.
If it's
Oh, they'll
already
probably bring it. They'll probably bring up bullshit policy or process violations.
so, but if it's already been passed to the Senate, surely now Congress or the House, sorry, have to just step back.
Let it go.
Yeah, you're done. Your part is played. It's or is it?
If
Is there
if the
something else?
House wasn't leading the legal team in the Senate,
Oh, of course.
like Nadler's on the prosecution.
Jesus Christ. He's a prosecutor? Oh.
Essentially, he's on the
Right.
legal team for the Democrats. And the fact that, by the way, I want to point out that the fact that I have to say that there's a prosecution for the Democrats and a defense by the Republicans should tell you everything you need to know about the current state of the impeachment and why it's not going to work and why it shouldn't work, honestly. Because if anybody out there who's listening now or in the future believes that a partisan impeachment is a good thing, you want chaos.
Agreed. Before Yufio's donation comes up, and thank you for that, when are you guys going to mention Parnas. Now, I should say, I have no idea what that is. So when you guy, just trups, because I don't know
Oh
what that
yeah.
is. Thank you, though, for the donation. I do appreciate it. So what that word is? I don't know what... I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it
Okay,
correctly.
so uh, Lev Parnes is a oh god, was he an ambassador? I forget. Let's see here. He was associates of Rudy Giuliani, who aided him with a search of Ukraine for detrimental information
Right.
on Donald Trump's political opponents, allegedly. So basically, he was an associate of Giuliani's.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he had gone on MSNBC and had a interview with Rachel Maddow, and basically said that President Trump knew everything about the pressuring of the Ukraine to give a quid pro quo. And
Mm-hmm.
Parnas said that Giuliani had specifically told Ukrainian leaders, I'm sorry, that Parnas says that Giuliani told Ukrainian leaders that Parnas specifically spoke on the president's behalf.
Yeah.
Sorry, the jumping between who said what is sometimes difficult. Parnas basically called Trump a cult leader, more scared of our own Justice Department than criminals. He claimed that Trump fired lawyers, and Trump tried to keep Parnas quiet. And they were arrested on October 9th and charged with campaign finance violation.
Right.
Now, hold the phone, because where have we heard this before?
Does sound oddly familiar.
Michael Flynn?
Yes.
Sounds a bit interesting.
Strange. How very
Yeah,
coincidental.
interesting that when somebody gets arrested on campaign finance violations, they immediately anti the person they were just working for. Almost like they're trying to cut a deal. But I've never worked in law enforcement.
Allegedly.
Oh, purely speculation.
Yeah, we don't want to. We don't want to.
Yeah, we wouldn't want somebody to go into solitary and then find out they killed themselves
or were choked.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
back onto the Senate thing. How do you know the procedure for this? How it goes? And obviously, you say now Congress or House. Sorry, the House in charge of the prosecution.
Yeah.
How does this go now then?
So now basically both sides have chosen their all-star team, and they get to play in the Pro Bowl. I don't know. That's a football joke, by the way. That's an American football joke.
It's okay. I understood it.
I realized when you didn't laugh that, oh my god.
No, I actually muted because I was yawning really loudly.
Oh, okay.
I'm really sorry.
He went on MSNBC. Ufio says he went on MSNBC because William Barr does not want to cut a deal. That's probably because William Barr is looking into corruption.
Does Barr need to cut a deal?
No. Damn, Trups, your ignorance of trolling amazes me. I am very happy with my naivety and my ignorance. Thank you very much, Saki.
Yes, thank you for your contribution, Saki.
Will Biden get dragged into this, you think? Yes.
That's
I think so,
issue.
Because Barr has been exclusively looking into what Trump has alleged.
Won't this possibly disrupt Biden's attempts to dethrone the white supremacist?
Possibly.
I mean, God Emperor. I mean, what is he again?
Everything.
Orange,
all those things.
He's everything.
He is all those things.
He is all things and everything. He's apparently a cult leader too. His name is actually Nick Fromage. That's a GTA reference. I do apologize.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting is what you don't necessarily, what you haven't heard, at least in the mainstream media, is that Ukrainian MPs have also been calling for an investigation into Hunter Biden.
Oh,
because do you remember when we had first talked about it and I told you that Hunter was alleged to have stolen $19 million from the Ukrainian taxpayers?
yes, I remember that.
Yes, the MPs also did not forget that.
Oh, hang on. Was
And
that money? Is that money missing though?
that money is missing
Oh, whoa.
because it was paid to Hunter Biden. Allegedly. Well, actually, no, not
Apparently.
allegedly. That shit actually exists in hard money form,
Wait,
in
wait, wait,
hard
wait, wait.
receipts,
Paid to him. How's it stolen then?
because the company that he worked for illegally appropriated funds from the taxpayer.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay, well that could be another interesting little thing because that will certainly make this all rather more entertaining when Biden discusses
Well,
this.
that's the funny thing though. Imagine this. Hunter Biden was the one who was actually being accused of doing something wrong.
Right.
And Trump originally asked the Ukrainians to find out more information about this. Eventually, information came out that $19 million worth of taxpayer money were illegally appropriated by the gas company. I can't remember the name. Blah, Burisma. And then paid out to Hunter Biden. Okay, so Trump brings up, hey, so there might be something wrong with this Burisma company. Somebody says, yeah, that probably is worth looking into. Everyone else hears the name Biden and goes, aha, he's trying to get dirt on his political opponent. Well, is there dirt to be gotten on that political opponent?
Mm,
Because allegedly the only back and forth that Hunter Biden, or Joe Biden rather, had with the Ukrainians was when Joe Biden withheld aid from the Obama administration on the condition that the Ukrainians fired a federal prosecutor who was investigating Burisma at the time.
right.
If this is all true, assuming it is, and then we'll go into assuming it's not, assuming it's all true, this would be a situation in which you want to investigate. And really, the main component to this would be Hunter Biden. Joe Biden only kind of cursory was involved.
Okay.
The actual, extortion, I wouldn't call it extortion, really. Um, the actual theft was by Hunter Biden, right? Like it wasn't Joe.
This could be a rather interesting element during the hearing then, because if the prosecution skirt over that, the Senate are going to pick up on it, aren't they? If this is all true, that is.
Oh, they're already aware. I mean, this is common knowledge. Just some people
Ah,
don't want to
so
say it.
how with the Senate, the House being the prosecution, who is the defense?
The defense would be um, basically Trump's legal team. So remember how I said the prosecution was made up of Republicans, and the defense is made of the defense is made of Republicans. The prosecution is made of Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
It's because Trump then gets to choose his legal team. He is the defense, right?
Okay.
So he selected individuals to represent him.
Do we know anything of those yet? I had heard a
Yeah.
rumor one of them was related to Clinton in some
Legal
manner.
or impeachment.
Wasn't one of them connected to Clinton in some way?
Let's see here. Trump is adding 3 seasoned lawyers to his impeachment legal defense team. People familiar with the matter said, including Kenneth Starr, the hard-charging prosecutor whose work led to the President Bill Clinton impeachment.
Hmm.
Alan Dershowitz, the constitutional lawyer, and Robert Ray, Starr's successor at the Office of Independent Counsel during the Clinton administration. They are joining a legal team headed by White House counsel Pat Copoloni, and outside attorney Jay Sekulow, who are still expected to deliver statements on the president's behalf on the Senate floor, which I believe is happening right now.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
So, okay. I would like to then skip to what you think, your prediction for Donald Trump? What is his future in this? How do you think?
Okay,
How
so
badly is he going to get anally pummeled?
I don't think he will. And so several people have tried to differentiate between these two possibilities. Assuming that the Senate is going to outright rule in the president's favor, they have two ways of doing it. They could either dismiss the case
Is that likely?
or acquit the president.
Is the first likely, or is the second more?
Okay, so if they dismiss it, then the House has full reign to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, just keep piling on as much as possible for this impeachment. If he's acquitted, it basically says, given all this information, we do not think that any statutory crime was committed. He is not guilty. It's basically the difference between getting a judge to dismiss a trial before it starts,
Yeah.
or having a jury give a verdict.
Do you remember last week, the week before, you were sending me lots of memes? Remember that?
On
Lots of
Iran,
memes.
yeah.
Yeah. So I can see this ending one way, and for it, a meme has to resurface. The meme would go that the verdict's read out and the president is acquitted, and it would have that person when he was made president. Remember the one with the glasses and the yellow anorak screaming no? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I can see that meme doing it. That will be that will come back up, and that will be how it goes. And as far as delay of trial goes, because saw Brandon Brown mention in the chat the delay versus dismissal. If they delay too long, I think it actually harms the Democrats in their presidential campaign. And if they
Well,
want,
I think if they delay, I think it would be the Republicans.
Oh, you think the
Because
Republicans?
remember, it is the Senate now, so that's
Ah,
Republican led. So if delay of trial happens, it's probably going to be on Republican.
so they'll do it to hurt the Democrats. So the Democrats will want to push this quickly then.
Maybe.
But then at the same time, if they can't win in this house, then what's the point?
I don't know. It's a very strange thing going on.
I'm
And
so confused.
Gary Cochran, I want to bring this up real quick. Gary Cochran says Hunter Biden is a low-life junkie. This is true.
Is he?
Yeah. There were reports that he would go to strip clubs with credit cards without his name on it. So a credit card without a name.
Mm-hmm.
And he would be caught in the back room smoking, I forget if it was crack or meth, one of the two. One of the badder drugs, the worst drugs for you.
Life.
And yeah, that would be a very that was something that was testified to on multiple accounts too.
Oh dear.
God, it was so bizarre. But that is a true statement from the person who said so, I guess. Hunter raw dog strippers. Ew. I would never let that happen. That would be absolutely disgusting.
Okay. What has Mitch McConnell been saying about this since it's been delivered to him?
So Mitch McConnell doesn't want to call witnesses.
Why not?
Because if you allow either side to start calling witnesses, then you're introducing the potential for new evidence, which is not the purpose of the Senate trial.
Ah.
The evidence has already been established.
Okay.
You cannot introduce new evidence into the record unless the Senate wants you to. But technically, they're not supposed to. It's not their job to do that.
Will some of the Dems within the Senate want to do that?
Most definitely. But again, they can't make any statements during the trial, so every kind of comment about it you're going to hear now.
Okay, this could be
Which
really interesting.
Already has happened. By the way, Yufio wants me to mention this, I'm sure, because he made a comment about my very, very poor description of the Parnes.
It's because you'd be ashamed of yourself, shouldn't you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Lev Parnes is...
You make me sick.
Oh, yeah, well, I voted for Hillary, so...
Ah,
Um,
she's got.
there's an allegation that Parnas made that Trump had put Ambassador Yovanovitch on a potential hit, like a mob hit.
Ooh, kinky.
Right. And even some mafia lawyers have said that what Trump was alleged to have said was basically, a an Al Capone, I want to see this person gone kind of thing.
Oh, what? Swimming the fishes with some
Is
concrete
it something
shoes
like
on.
that? Yeah.
Okay. Extra doubt.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting,
It's
all things
amusing.
considered.
It's very amusing. I'll give him
But
that.
I know that Yufio probably wanted me to mention that too.
He.
Yufio, if I didn't mention something, feel free to make a video and at me.
Yes, actually, please do, because I haven't seen a good response video in a while. Okay, so okay, Dems don't get. No one gets to really make a statement during this proceeding. In theory, no evidence.
Pretty much.
No witnesses we called. So, what happens if there are no witnesses and there's only defense and prosecutors? What happens?
The prosecutors basically now have to assert that the information that was presented during the hearing is sufficient to convict the president on the charges that were presented in the impeachment articles. That being the obstruction of Congress and, oh God, I forget the other one. Abuse of power? Yeah. Abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. They basically have to say that the evidence presented was sufficient to convict the president on such things, and that that the president should be impeached based on these facts. The defense basically has to say that this evidence is either insufficient or they don't properly make their case to convict the president on any substantial crime.
Okay.
So it's gonna be who's got the best argument, and you're playing to a fucking stacked jury.
It's a bit weird.
I mean, honestly, people like to say that the Republicans just like to protect their own. Ah, Alex, what's up? All right, Alex is in the chat.
What's up, sweet cheeks?
Trust you voted Hillary heresy. Inquisitors dispatched. That's okay. I have since rescinded my democratic citizenship of the previous state of which I was a resident, that being New Jersey. Bob Menendez, motherfucker. There's a song about when I talked about him last. Thanks, Saki.
Oh.
So basically, what you have is it's going to be a rock and a hard place. There's absolutely no way that the prosecution could make the case that hasn't already been made. There's absolutely no fucking way they're going to get through.
Yeah.
But what's also interesting is right now, the Democratic frontrunner is Bernie Sanders, and I wanted to mention this. The Democratic frontrunner is Bernie Sanders.
Is he really?
And he is.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's not Biden.
Because they betrayed him 4 years ago.
They're betraying him again.
Oh, really? They want Biden, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Right.
And let's say, a hit piece were to come out on CNN, alleging that Bernie Sanders was a misogynist sexist.
Oh, no.
And told Elizabeth Warren that no woman could ever be president, allegedly in 2018. Well, there was a Democratic debate the other day, like 2 days ago, 1 day ago, one of the two.
Yeah.
And they asked Bernie, and CNN hosted it, by the way, and they asked Bernie Sanders, hey, did you tell, you told Elizabeth Warren that a woman couldn't be president. Why did you say that? And Bernie Sanders goes, well, as a matter of fact, I did not say that.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to a long explanation of why he would never say that, and it makes no logical sense that he would ever say that, because even 30 years ago, There's a video of him telling children that even a woman could be president. And
He's been
Hillary
fairly.
Clinton won the popular vote. This is basically his evidence during the Democratic debate. He was like, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. No one in the right mind would ever tell you that a woman could not be president.
It's strange, but Sanders is very consistent.
Well, the thing is, Sanders is very static in his views. They
I
haven't
mean,
really
I
changed.
mean, politically, from what I've looked at in most of his career, he is consistent,
Oh, without a doubt. Without
and
a
that
doubt.
I have to give him credit for that because a lot of people flip flop, but he seemed to be his heart's in the right place.
Absolutely. No, and I wouldn't even call it the heart is in the right place, but he has stuck with the same beliefs. I mean, he's been an unapologetic person in favor of the Soviet Union.
Okay, not in the heart
He
in the right place at all.
well, right. Well, I mean, he honeymooned in Russia during the Soviet reign.
hmm
Um, he likes um the idea of socialism, but honestly, I don't think he likes what socialism became. I think he honestly believes that he could come out with a better form of socialism.
Well, he's entitled to his opinion, isn't he?
Oh, of course. But he's never swayed from that. He's always been that way, even in the face of extreme adversity from every single person, whether that be from their own side or from the Republican side. And I
Right.
think that even Donald Trump would give Bernie Sanders credit. Um, there was a very interesting moment in the 2016 election in which, during one of the final debates between Trump and Clinton,
hmm
somebody stood up in the audience and asked if they could each say something nice about the other person.
Yeah.
And Trump was able to do it. Trump basically said that Hillary is a strong, a fierce, and slightly scary woman.
hmm
She has basically the balls to do shit that some people wouldn't have the muster to go and do. Hillary didn't have shit to say, really. She said something like off the cuff and very surface level.
What did she say?
I forget. It didn't stick with me, but I remember Trump's answer because I remember sitting around with my friends in college because we were watching the debates
Right. Okay.
and we were playing drinking games.
It does help.
Drinking games for political shit would Alex, please, God, no, don't do it. You know, with that gauntlet, you know how the dust happens. Please don't make dust out of Hillary Clinton. That would be disgusting.
Well, if I do,
Dick snap.
it will get it will get the nuclear warhead that's hidden deep within a vagina out. And I kind of want it
Thought it
to
was just a cervical cap.
just to just to oh, it's ruined my joke. Fuck it. Fair enough. I like that.
Did I completely fuck you up?
No, no, it's better than what I was about to say anyway. I'll concede.
Okay.
Uh,
But unfortunately, right now, CNN and Politico have both posted a bunch of fucking articles against Sanders, and Warren literally is calling him a liar. He's and basically trying to Me Too Bernie Sanders. I'm sorry, but that's some bullshit, man.
hmm. I don't. It's a very bad tactic on a candidate. No, I even 4 years ago, even I said Bernie was the best chance you had to beat Trump.
I agreed back then too.
Okay,
I don't think that
yes,
it's true anymore,
I
unfortunately.
think then he could have also gotten a better share of he would have probably gotten the popular vote as well, though, to be fair. But I think
Hmm.
he would have gotten a better share of the electoral college
I
than
think
what
so too.
Hillary got. I don't know if he would have
Because
gotten
I
enough
know a lot of people. At least it's been reported that a lot of people who were Bernie supporters voted Trump.
because they didn't want Hillary, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't know if he can this time because I'm not paying enough attention. But he was the right candidate 4 years ago. I don't know if he is now, and Biden is certainly not. With
No, absolutely
with
not.
the stuff and his son, he's just it reeks of toxic to me. I can't see that benefiting anyone.
Honestly, there's nothing about Biden that I say is worth voting for, really.
Hmm. I'm not. I still think Tulsi
There's,
Gabbard was
there's
the better option.
I think so too. I mean, she's got a pretty fucked up look at Second Amendment rights, which is a hot topic in Virginia right now.
I just thought she looked hot.
I mean, yeah, Alex might be interested in Hillary, but Tulsi though, come on. Alex and Tulsi could mix that mocha together and make an actual latte.
You never know. You never know. How long do you think, with what's been happening today with regards to this now procedure, how long will it
Mm.
be until someone tries to drag witnesses into this?
I think they're going to try to drag witnesses in at the very start of this. They've already started accusing McConnell of basically railroading and roadblocking witnesses, and I've already tried to call for his impeachment.
They knew this was going to happen in the first place. Can they impeach him from the
Only if you
Senate?
have only if you have a good damn reason.
I'll be honest. They're gambling on this, and if they're not getting the result they want, they're trying to remove those that would otherwise try and keep. And I don't know anything about Mitch McConnell. I don't know if he'll make this fair at all.
I don't
But
know
if you're
enough
trying
about
to
him either.
remove your opponent, it doesn't mean you beat your opponent. It means you simply put them to the side until you found someone you could walk through. The Senate supersedes the House. You shouldn't be trying to dictate how the or the Senate operates. And I think it's going to be really, really amusing to see how this unfolds over the next 7 days. 'Cause I have a strange feeling this one's going to be tasty.
I'm interested, but right now my focus is actually on Virginia. So Monday they have a Second Amendment rally happening, and so far, Governor Northam, blackface governor from Virginia.
Yeah,
Well, either actually, technically, he doesn't remember which costume he was in. He was either in blackface or in KKK robes. Neither is a good look, but he doesn't remember. So I don't know what to tell you. Um, the but he has called for a state of emergency ahead of the Second Amendment rally that is happening on Monday. And in that state of emergency, no weapons, no guns are allowed on the Capitol, except there's a very interesting constitutional rule in the Virginia Constitution that says no state of emergency can ever strip the people of Virginia from carrying weapons on Capitol grounds.
oh dear lord, this is going to get messy.
Oh,
He's
it's not, because you know why? Today, an article was released that said Antifa will stand alongside pro gun advocates. Oh my
oh
God, I'm so excited.
oh no, oh no, oh no.
They
Um,
needed people to fight against each other, but then they started going after, basically, if you're looking at the conservative side, the Second Amendment is intrinsic into the Constitution, and no government should ever be able to strip the rights of the people to keep and bear arms. Okay? On the Antifa side, giving up your weapons means that the racist pigs that are police and the government are going to be able to kill with impunity your minority brothers and sisters. So it is imperative that both sides keep their firearms, which means basically a government said, we don't want you to have weapons. And the pro-gun conservatives and Antifa looked at each other and goes, truce, truce. And then turned back to face the government. Oh, fucking God. It's going to be amazing. And I have the day off on Monday.
I'm just making a minor adjustment to the title of this stream. I'm adding Electric Boogaloo because it keeps cropping up and I like it.
Boogaloo, Boogaloo, Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Are Antifa members even strong enough to fire a rifle? No, they're not.
Hey, give them a spud gun. They're good.
But they could shoot a shotgun once before falling over.
The recoil.
And actually, but realistically, the guy who actually runs the Virginia Antifa group has basically said, because we live in the South, we don't have the opportunity to be the meme that Antifa is, which is the black-clad bullshit crazy people.
Yeah.
We have to at least be respectful of the people around us. We want different things, but we need to understand the culture that we live around. So we have a little bit more of a tolerance for gun-wielding citizens.
Yeah.
That being said, the guy who runs this Antifa group seems much more level-headed, and even Tim Pool in his recent video mentioned that there are armed leftists, and they're a lot like the armed conservative. They just want to keep their weapons, and they're disciplined.
Okay.
They don't go crazy. It's really the young, impulsive types who go off on, fucking Spurg fests and go and hit people with bike locks.
Yeah, that's pretty lame. I find the Virginia stuff to be incredible because someone's trying to rewrite your basic rights and you can't do it. That governor is not getting re-elected.
Well, the reason why this even got passed was because in 2018, remember the blue wave shit?
Yeah.
Well, Virginia thought that might be a good idea.
Bet they're regretting.
Virginia no longer thinks that's a good idea.
When does their governor come up for re-election?
Next year? I think it's every 2 years. So it would be this year.
Governor terms are only 2 years.
I can't imagine they're much longer, but you know what? I might be wrong. Let me check.
I thought it was 4 or 5. 4 years. It's 4. It's 4.
Okay. 4-year term. Yep.
Okay.
Either way, he's losing the state Senate and the state House.
Okay. There are 2 states where the tenures are 2. It's New Hampshire and Vermont.
Weird. Yes. But okay.
Yeah. But he's ruined. Yeah. There's no way he's getting through. Sorry.
Oh, he's fucked. Absolutely fucked. 100 counties in Virginia have already said that they will not enforce gun confiscation.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
And West Virginia came out like 2 days ago and said, hey, any Virginia counties that don't want to be part of Virginia, secede to West Virginia. We'll take care of you.
We got you, fam. We got you.
And I was like, fuck.
Wait, hang on.
Remember, I live in South Carolina. We started this secede shit last time.
Wait, does that mean there'll be another state technically?
Cheers, Alex. No, it would just be a bigger West Virginia.
Oh, good night, Alex. I hope you feel better soon, mate. Have a lovely weekend. We're actually coming close to finishing anyway, but this is a really interesting subject, so I don't want to stop traps just yet.
See, unfortunately, US has been really interesting this week.
Yeah, Britain has been interesting, but I covered most of the topics on my videos.
That's fair.
There were other things. Hang on, I'm just grabbing something I need.
See, that's why I save all my, politics shit for these streams. I don't make them videos on my channel, and no one's ever mentioned that they wanted me to do more of it on my channel, so I haven't.
There are other subjects in Britain that we could talk about, but I think, personally,
not worth it.
This week, this is much more interesting as a stream, and
yeah,
And also, Traps is hosting, so it's right that we focus on
Yes.
this because
America, guns.
it's his stream, not mine. That's the point. That's why we
West
rotate
Virginia
host.
was actually part of Virginia prior to the Civil War. Yeah,
Oh
back
wait,
then the U.S. looked a lot different.
so is West Virginia another state or not?
Yes, yes, it is.
I did not know that. That's why I was confused. I thought you were going to get another state.
No, no. West Virginia is another state.
Right.
There
Thank you.
is. It's very difficult. It's very confusing because there's a song that mentions "quote unquote" West Virginia, and they used it for the Fallout
Oh.
76, I think.
Okay. Okay. Well,
No, Fallout.
that's
Was it
brilliant.
Fallout 4? It was
Don't know.
Fallout 4. It
Don't
was
know.
Fallout 4.
Don't know.
And they used a version of the John Denver song. Yeah, Country Roads. Um, and even that song is actually about Western Virginia, not the state West Virginia. It's about the Western Virginia mountains. Chops, if you do videos on this stuff, I am subscribing. Why aren't you subscribed already? Okay, I'll do it.
There you go, pissy and great.
Yeah, fine. Fuck it. I'll do it.
I'll
just
do
takes a
it.
lot more
I'll
effort.
do it because you can't be bothered.
I'm sorry, okay? Sometimes random fucking celebrity news is a lot more interesting than, guess what? They're impeaching him again
To
for
be
the
fair,
fucking third year in a row. Here we go.
To be fair, it's not stale in the slightest. Yep.
Honestly, if I just get drunk and start streaming it, you guys can just come over and watch me play Call of Duty ranting about this shit.
You should definitely do that anyway. Although if you do stream it, I can't play with you.
Yeah, you need to get that sorted out.
I need to create another account. Yeah, I know.
Please do, so that we can just boogaloo in Call of Duty.
I'm so shit, but it'd be funny.
I don't care. I'll carry you.
The funny thing is, I'm so shit, but it doesn't matter because I'm not the type to get pissed off by it.
Just pull out a double barrel or take out a fucking riot shield and be a like dirty camper. It's what half the other people do.
Dirty camper. They still exist. Oh, that's cute.
Trump bends over like Stormy and just as quick. I'm sorry, but Patriarch, I haven't seen you comment on a video in the last 6 months.
Hey, Stormy was paid, yo, in it, swag.
Yes, she was. A lot, actually.
Yeah. If you want Trups to bend over, that 250 has to be hit first.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, right. I'd like to see.
I thought about just subsidizing the rest of it with my own money, but I'm like, that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, don't do that. You'll get there.
Trump has all the beans.
Yes.
Me and the boys at 3 a.m. looking for beans.
Joe, I'd be down for it. If only so, Ed joins, and I get to fuck with him.
We've discussed it on potentially Sundays.
Yeah, I'd be down for it. Just because Ed's raging. I've heard rumors. I've heard legends of how. I've even seen his desk chair. The arms on it.
The stories have been passed down through the
arms.
ages of Ed's rage.
He bent the arms. Anyway, yes. I think we're done, are we?
Yeah. That's it. Really.
You're the lead.
Yeah. Do you have anything to shill, Meg?
No, I'll be going to bed very soon, so I don't have anything to shill.
Okay. I have 2 videos that I posted up this week. The first one was on a couple Carolina teachers who got in trouble doing the diddly with little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other video I put up yesterday was on the MXR situation. So go check those out if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm.
I only have like 12 likes on it, so I know that at least 55 of you haven't been there.
Sorry, guys.
But yeah, that's it, I guess. So say goodnight, Meg.
Actually, I think of one last thing I'd like to say.
Okay.
We're very grateful that you all turned up, and we are trying our best to make the best possible show ever. And it's very important you always remember